Hello Gemini, I'm recording your reading here on the 26th of May 2025, but wherever and whenever you hear this or view this will be the time when you're meant to see it or hear it. And yeah, as always, you know, just leave whatever's not resonating, okay, and take what does. And yeah, let's well, some of the energies that are around at the moment are Metatron and Melchizedek, okay, and we also have always, of course, the archangels, ascended masters, light beings, spirit guides, dragon guides, and also our higher selves. It is really stormy outside, so I apologise for that. It's interesting that the weather is kind of a bit symbolic at the moment of a lot of the stormy sort of things that are going on. We're simultaneously receiving downloads from spirit, and we're also processing our subconscious stuff and sorting out what's true for us. And yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. And so for you, Gemini, we're just going to see if there's any, you know, suggestions or hints from spirit here as to, you know, how, you know, you can navigate these energies, or maybe something you're going through at the moment that's kind of related or interconnected. Let's see what's going to jump out here for the center for you, Gemini. Okay, there's one. Page of Swords. Okay, so there may be some clouds in the sky, but you're optimistic at the moment and you're kind of getting curious about something. Something kind of caught your attention. Maybe you have been focused on something, but maybe there's something else that's kind of grabbed your attention now, that sparked your curiosity. Cards are behaving strangely. Apologise for the whistling, blowy winds out there. Okay, well, that's strange. We're going to take, basically, the King of Cups came face up and these came face down. So we're going to take the King of Cups here for the center for you, Gemini, and then we're going around the reading here. The Hermit, the Nine of Cups, you have the Four of Pentacles. I'm going to continue and take off the top here. You have the Lovers, your Power card. Okay, so either you're going to be moving into a really nice connection with your higher self, or you may be, you know, meeting up with someone that's very resonant. And here we have the Queen of Wands as well. Six of Swords, Temperance also just appeared for Gemini. Oh, right, we are on Gemini, just appeared for Taurus. The Ten of Swords, okay, and the Hanged Man as well. Right, I'm going to just have a look at these and get back to you. Just take a couple of minutes. Okay, Gemini, driving your reading, you have the Hermit. And this is your, like almost a subconscious pull that you have at the moment to do some inner soul work. This lamp here is the light of your soul, and here you are looking at it. Okay, you are perhaps wanting to move into, or wanting to prepare to set yourself up so you can move into this energy of having some time to do some personal growth, self-development, soul work, but it could also be quite spiritual in nature. Okay, so maybe this is about you forming your spiritual beliefs, coming into contact with your higher self, as is your near future energy here. Okay, this is almost like your divine masculine and feminine, and your higher self. And it's interesting that at the center here, Gemini, you have, I've just put the cards sort of quite automatically without thinking. I put them like this. The interesting thing is that I feel like, you know, your sort of truth here is that you've been, I think, operating in this mode of maybe holding space for others. You've been kind of the rock that people have kind of been depending on, and that you are good at being calm in the face of a whole lot of other uncalm stuff going on, okay? But now I think you're looking at, what's just got your attention here is that you can see how your head is turned here, Gemini, and you're looking here now at this Nine of Cups. And whilst the King sort of is a really nice quality and hold space for others, I feel like what you're kind of thinking now, Gemini, is that you're wanting to, pardon me, up your own frequency here and move into something that gives you personal inner fulfillment, like something that is maybe a truer expression of your soul energy and your innerness, your inner being, okay? And your hangman is saying that as well. There's been this point of enlightenment or realization. And directly above this, we have the Four of Pentacles, which is also interesting because that, I was literally walking in my little mini forest with gum trees the other day, and the Four of Pentacles came into my mind, and it was sort of the message that came through about this card was that this sometimes talks about what can be interpreted as like greed or holding or protecting your energy or whatever. But when I looked at it, I thought, yeah, this is also about alignment. And I feel like this is at the heart chakra. This is the crown here for you, Gemini. And this is the feet, or that, you know, that earth star, the chakras that have at the bottom of our feet. So it's almost like you are realizing or acknowledging your crown chakra, that you have a direct source connection, that you can connect to this higher self, because the higher self, all of these spiritual energies, we connect through the heart and through the crown, okay, usually in a balanced way, okay. And so you're also grounding yourself here. So it's almost like you've had this realization just recently that I feel that, you know, your soul has been speaking to you here, Gemini. You've actually been listening to it. And to do with your happiness and fulfillment, I think you've realized that there's an activation of these chakras as well. I also looked into the meaning of the star or the pentacle here. And that has to do with, you know, it's a spiritual symbol, but it can also be talking about the five elements, so fire, earth, air, water, and spirit, okay? It can also be talking about the 5 wounds of Christ. So we have, you know, both hands on the points out the side, both feet, okay? And the other wound was in the side where the soldier pierced, you know, the Christ sort of side, his ribs there, okay? So it's about, you know, there's a lot of things in this card. It could be about you releasing wounds or traumas from these areas. It might be, you know, about you accessing the elements, fire, earth, air, spirit, coming into greater, you know, there's a whole lot of stuff. But it's interesting too that sometimes the pentacles talk about monetary wealth, okay, and that maybe this person is focusing on monetary wealth. But when I look at this, I'm almost thinking that this is all in the background now. It's like the background, or it's like he's moved forward from the matrix in some ways, okay? So this is almost a card of like someone that is kind of saying they're in the matrix, but they're not all of it. Okay, so maybe you've had this feeling here, Gemini, that you don't necessarily belong in that matrix anymore, yet you know that you maybe for your survival, that you need to have some income, but you are kind of doing this in alignment with your mind, body, spirit, with all these chakras coming into alignment. Okay, and I think this is like your higher self. This is like, you know, your a point of enlightenment for you here, which is really awesome. And you also have this Queen of Wands, you know, really kind of powerful energy, passionate, being focused, being creative. And yeah, and maybe these sorts of energies is something that maybe this is a role that you have been doing, like holding space for others, or maybe this is someone that's helping you. It could even be just a higher self aspect of yourself, or a past life version of yourself that's really helping you to realize that, hey, Gemini, you've been holding space for others. It's now time for you to hold space for yourself. Okay. This is, you could be surrounded by people that are making a transition from moving from, you know, complexity, confusion, all the rest of it, into a more calm, simple, peaceful way of life, or a way of thinking, a way of being, okay? And I feel like this is maybe even like a spirit guide influence. It could even be a past life that you've had, where you've had to make a transition once before, where maybe you've had to leave certain values behind, certain constructs, certain cultures even. Maybe you had to move from one culture to another, okay? And all of that stuff could be coming up for you for processing as well. Here we have the Temperance, which is your, naturally as we evolve, we seek better balance, okay, Gemini? And this is what you're doing here. You're seeking better balance. You are pulling back on things that are like extreme. Maybe you're not putting yourself out there to the extent that you used to do for others, and maybe you're taking some time back for yourself, okay, which is perfectly fine. And I feel like maybe there's been a lot of, maybe there has been some stress and stuff that's sort of coming to an end, or there's been some ideas, some values, some constructs about how you've perceived yourself, how you perceive life in general, that sort of there are a lot of things going through changes, and I think you're really kind of looking at all of this really closely. All of these swords could represent like a belief or a type of conditioning or a societal expectation, or, it can even sort of represent media and technology and that sort of thing too. And maybe you're kind of going to be pulling back on some of that. All right. Let's grab a clarification for that. I think we've got the Hangman there hanging in the tree. I'm just going to go with the Fairy Tarot here. We're just going to get a clarification for that. I'll grab a couple of cards actually. Very similar to Taurus's reading, where we had there's dark and light in this card, so there's a new beginning on the horizon for you, Gemini. But I feel like this has been a positive realization that you've had, given there with the Hangman, that you have the Hangman there. So let's just grab a card for you for that Ten of Swords. I'm just going to cut the deck. That. Four of Winter, which is the Four of Swords. Okay, so yeah, maybe you're feeling a little bit like Aries, like the center of the reading was Four of Swords, kind of like done, let's just meditate and chill out. That could be what this energy is. Maybe you're feeling exhausted at the moment, Gemini. You could be experiencing some sort of mental exhaustion, okay? Set aside your concerns for now. You can make a decision later. Solutions that come from meditation. The need for more sleep or a vacation. Yeah, that could definitely be what's happening as a result of this energy for you, Gemini, okay? But I feel like at the same time, there's a lot of positive changes. I mean, you're coming into a really nice alignment here. And there could be an aspect of this card where you are feeling that you need to protect your energy a little bit. Maybe you're needing to create some boundaries so that you can sort of do some soul work, okay? That could be something else that card is indicating there. The World, yeah, a brilliant success. The freedom to go in any direction, a journey that is now complete. And when we say a journey that's complete, sometimes when we get to a point of realization, we go, oh, I'm starting a new journey now, which means the previous one is complete. Now I'm starting a new one, which, that's kind of talking about the world there as well. Yeah, interesting thing is that the number of the world is 21 and this is 12. So they both kind of then condense to a 3, which is sort of to do with new projects, okay, new things starting up for you, Gemini. King of Swords, okay. Get advice from someone professional and objective, public speaking, unemotional relationships, okay. So maybe knowledgeable, experienced, fair-minded and unemotional. So, and sometimes we need to have objectivity, okay, or unemotionalness. Sometimes we need to have logic and, objectivity in things. But, this is just saying, Gemini, if you feel that you need some professional guidance or professional help, or even just to resonate with people of like-mindedness, okay, that to just make a decision even if you feel like uncertain or worried or concerned or stressed about it. Just make the decision anyway and just go be with some people that are into what you're into. Public speaking, I mean, that could just be, you know, sharing your views with other people, just on a one-to-one basis. It wouldn't have to be that you're standing up in front of a crowd, but it may be. Yeah, maybe this is just saying that, you know, this is an air of air card. So, you know, that element of air, which is higher consciousness, getting to the truth of the matter, communicating. You also had the Page of Swords here, and you are an air sign, Gemini, okay? So just realising that you have all those skills, talents and abilities to communicate, okay? Yeah, and that you are creative and you can come up with ideas as well. Last card for you is the Empress, which is really nice. Time to take action, the power of creativity, success that allows for a life of luxury. Well, I also like to think that the Empress is sometimes about inactivity. It's about just receiving and grounding, which is kind of what this card is saying here for you, Gemini, okay? So it's looking like there's going to be a time of, you know, you consolidating your inner truth, grounding, doing some relaxation, taking some time out, but when you're ready, you will be able to take the action, okay, that you need to take. So I think we'll wrap it up there. I hope that's been helpful for you, Gemini. I look forward to our next reading. In the meantime, have a great day, great week, and I'll see you again soon.